I'm getting energized just from the smell. לא להיפצע.
Electricity back?
Yeah. For people living in Israel, it's obvious. We have electricity, we have power, always, all the time. It's relatively affordable, and we don't really have to give it a second thought. But the story of how we got to the point where we actually have constant electricity and almost energetic independence, or energy independence as a country, is quite incredible. We are a young country. We never had the time to develop the infrastructure or the delivery methods. The fact that we have sustainable, consistent electricity in this country, and that today, 70-something years after the inception of the State of Israel, where today we're able to generate a ton of green electricity and even supply electricity to people outside of Israel. I don't have any energy. You want to be in the vlog? Electricity? Just a handful of years ago, Israel was really behind when it came to green energy. And thankfully, people sort of caught on to the fact that we urgently need to change the way we operate. Today, if you drive around the country, there are solar fields everywhere you go. I mean, every building with a flat roof in this country that has sunlight has solar panels on it. For Insights, we had filmed some of these huge solar fields that we have down in the Negev. And we sat with Yosef Abumovich, who I would call like the father of green energy in Israel. And he describes it. He's like, I came to Israel, and then within 3 years of building the first solar field, it became like this obvious, technology that we use, and there are contracts and public tenders everywhere you go. Yeah, there's this like crazy thing now.
You save energy with sunshine. Call your independent Lennox dealer. He's in the yellow pages.
That you have like private people, and especially communities that have like a lot of space, they'll just put solar panels all over them, and then they'll have a passive income. And the National Electric Company will pay people for their roof space. So you'll pay for whatever the setup cost is of the solar panels, and then you'll just get a monthly return for the electricity that you output. We're just figuring out the idea to this like wide-scale adaptation and then technological innovation on it. So now we have companies that are innovating on solar energy. What else?
Energy break!
So many people think all Turkish coffee is born alike. Turkish coffee is very unique and specific, and there's a whole ceremony for most people that make it, but for our office purposes, this will just have to do. That's making it good enough to drink. Oh yeah, I'm getting energized just from the smell. Electricity? There's almost like a supernatural miracle element to it. How in the last decade or so we've found huge energy resources in the ocean just off the coast of Israel. All this prophecy in the Bible about Israel being independent and the riches coming out of Israel, it really all sort of clicks into place where you see the fact that as we speak, we're laying a pipe for natural gas from our offshore natural gas reservoirs to Europe. We're the ones sending out the technology to other countries in the world. You really don't think about these things on a day-to-day basis. I go in, turn on the light, it's obvious, but it's not obvious. And the fact that we feel such confidence with energy, with water, with all these other things, it's a miracle. It's incredible. It shows that a lot of people had foresight and true vision to be able to frame things where they work. And it took a lot of blessing too, to be able to find natural gas, to be able to harness the sun. It's all these things that came together to really do electricity.
Thank you for joining us as we provide a spiritual insight of what God is doing in Israel and in the Middle East. If you want to learn more about what God is doing in Israel, make sure to visit us on our webpage and follow us on social media. Shalom, and God bless you from Jerusalem.